Subscribe to our channel Mend Your GK if you're looking for current affairs updates or if you're preparing for some exams which require you to be updated on current affairs and general knowledge. On behalf of PREPQ, I am Manish Kane. Welcome you to this edition of Current Affairs. Today's date is 21/2019. And in this edition, we will cover two things. First, we will cover news headlines from some major newspapers today. And second, as usual, we will discuss questions which are important, which are relevant to today's date. News headlines is a new feature which we are experimenting with today. And do let us your opinion, your views as a viewer, if you've liked them, if you want some changes to them, or if you want news headlines as a separate segment in daily current affairs, do give us your views and we will be more than happy to accommodate some of them. First, Vibrant Gujarat, over 28,000 MOUs signed. MOUs are expected to generate over 21 lakh jobs in the coming years. India is set to achieve 100% household electrification by January, as per Indian Express. Facebook endorses Artificial Intelligence Ethics Institute at Technical University of Munich in Germany. It plans to give away around $7.5 million for the same. Adani signs a joint venture with BASF in Germany for a petrochemical plant in Mundra, Gujarat. Masazo Nonaka, world's oldest man, died at the age of 113 in Japan. Government to infuse rupees 6,000 crore in Exim Bank to improve its balance sheets. Under phase 2 of Bharatmala, the big highway project which Indian government undertook, the government targets 4,000 kilometers of greenfield roads and 3,000 kilometers of expressways. Khelo India concludes it with Maharashtra, Haryana and Delhi as the number 1, number 2 and number 3 teams in terms of medals tally. So this basically was the news headline for today. Let us go to the first question. What is the theme for BES Expo 2019 recently held in Delhi? The correct answer is Next Gen Broadcasting in IT World. So Amit Khare, the Information and Broadcasting Secretary, and R.S. Sharma, the TRAI Chairman. TRAI means Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. They both inaugurated this event. And as the question already suggests, that the theme is Next Generation Broadcasting in the IT World. Next, where did the 4-day second World Orange Festival commence on 18 January 2019? So orange should bring the name Nagpur to your mind immediately. The correct answer is Nagpur. So World Orange Festival being held in Nagpur to showcase the brand oranges to boost exports of oranges. Mind you, the government has set a target to double farm incomes by 2022. And this festival is being hosted by UPL and Maharashtra Tourism. Next, which Indian leader was recently awarded the first ever Philip Kotler Presidential Award? The correct answer is Narendra Modi. Next, the Union Cabinet on January 16 approved the recapitalization of which bank? The correct answer is Exim Bank. Now, what is this Exim Bank? Exim Bank stands for Export-Import Bank. What does it do? The Export-Import Bank or Exim Bank, it basically finances in such a way to help exports from India. So it can finance the operations of exporters, or it can help overseas buyer or finance overseas buyer to procure goods from India. This bank has been running into losses in the last 2-3 years, because of which its balance sheet appears weak, and whenever a bank's balance sheet appears weak, it has to recapitalize. And the shareholders normally would recapitalize a bank. And who is the largest shareholder in Exim Bank? Obviously the government. So it's the government job to recapitalize the bank. And moreover, this bank also has to adhere to the capital adequacy ratio norms. Now, I'm not speaking much about capital adequacy ratio here. We will do that in a separate session. So, but you can Google Basel III and you will know what are the capital adequacy norms. So, whenever a bank's liabilities they are more than the assets that the banks holds, bank will face problems in raising capital, and in such an event, the shareholders will have to recapitalize this bank. In this case, the government has recapitalized Exim Bank to the tune of 6,000 crores, and out of which 4,500 crore will be given before March 19, and the remaining 1,500 crore to be given away after March 19. Now, how are they proposing to recapitalize? Does it mean that all this will go out from the government's budget? So, to recapitalize the Exim Bank, the government will issue recapitalization bonds. Now, what is a bond? A bond is like a loan. So, how is the government going to issue the recapitalization bonds? So, government will issue bonds, and the PSU banks are expected to buy. And the money that the government receives from this transaction will be again channeled back to the banks, to Exim Bank in this case. And thus, the government will not have to spend anything out of its own budget, one. And two, the required deficit can be plugged by the government without incurring much of an expenditure. So it's a innovative way of recapitalizing bank. So as I have already said, Exim Bank, principal export credit agency, the bank primarily lends for export from India. Recapitalizing means infusing more money into a company when liabilities are more than assets. Recapitalization is being done through recapitalization bonds. In this, the government will issue bonds which will be subscribed by the PSU banks themselves, and once the government receives the money, it will pump the money back into the banks. Also, another thing that the government is planning is to increase the authorized share capital of Exim Bank from 10,000 crore to 20,000 crore. Next question. The embassy of which country and International Chamber of Media and Entertainment Industry, India, have signed an MOU in the field of art and culture? The correct answer is Mongolia. Mongolia's capital, as you can see, is Ulaanbaatar, and the currency is Mongolian Togrog. Now, one thing you should know is where Mongolia lies. You should always have a good idea of geography, because many a times nations are clubbed as Far East Asian nations or Southeast Asian nations or South Asian nations. So Mongolia is an East Asian nation. You can see Mongolia here on the globe. So India के ऊपर China, and above China you have Mongolia. So Mongolia, China, South Korea, Japan, these are all East Asian nations. India is a South Asian nation. So remember, you need to have a fair amount of idea of geography in order to understand these kinds of classifications. So you can see Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, they're all Southeast Asian nations. Over here you have Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. These are Central Asian nations. And you can see by the geography of Asia why they are so called. Next, who took oath as 26th Chief Justice of Pakistan on 18th January 2019? The correct answer is Justice Asif Saeed Khosa. Now, he's a very interesting judge because he's known for citing works of literature in his judgments. And therefore, he goes by the name of Poetic Justice. He's also a top expert on criminal law in Pakistan. However, I don't want you to get carried away with this term poetic justice, because poetic justice in India, in English, is a phrase which has a slightly different meaning. Poetic justice means a deserved punishment for anything. For example, Indian movies are full of examples of poetic justice. You have a hero, you have a villain. Villain does something bad, and at the end gets a deserved punishment. So this is a very prominent example of poetic justice, which all of us can relate to. All of us who watch Bollywood, Collywood, Tollywood, any movies of the Indian genre. Next, who will lead the 18-member Indian women's hockey team for the opener tournament in Spain? The correct answer is Rani Rampal. Savita is the vice captain. Rani Rampal, incidentally, is a striker in the Indian hockey team, and Savita, the vice captain, is a goalkeeper. The coach of the Indian women's hockey team is Shord Marijne. So, next question. The world's largest religious and cultural human congregation, Kumbh Mela 2019, began in which city? The correct answer is Prayagraj. In 2013, around 13 crore people visited over a period of 2 months, and this time around 15 crore people are expected to visit the Kumbh Mela. Next, Mary Olivia died at her residence in Florida, United States on 17 January 2019. She was a poet, and in fact she was a Pulitzer Prize winning poet. Next, Finance Ministry started Know Your Budget series to educate people on which social media platform about the importance of union budget and its making on 18 January 2019. The correct answer is Twitter. Incidentally, Twitter was founded in 2006 by Jack Dorsey, Noah Glass, Biz Stone, and Yvonne Williams. It was started as a micro-blogging site. The headquarters is in San Francisco, California. Facebook was started in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg, Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCollum. Facebook is also headquartered in Menlo Park, California. Instagram is owned by Facebook, Kevin Systrom, and Mike Krieger, and was found in 2010. So another tidbit is that the CEO of Twitter is Jack Dorsey and that of Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg. So that brings us to the question for the day. Who is the current CEO of Twitter? Second, which countries are known as the Southeast Asian countries? Now, if you remember the answers to these questions, please type them in the comment section below. With this, we come to an end of this edition of Current Affairs. If you are looking to prepare for any of these exams, CAT, IBPS, SSC, CGL, IPM, BBA, campus recruitment, Mend Your Math, Mend Your Reasoning, and MendYourGK.com are your free resources. And if you are looking for paid courses, you can always log on to myprepq.com. And if you want career related advice, or if you are wanting to know some information about these exams, you can WhatsApp me on this number 98260 62415. Thank you so much.